So hi, what's up? It's your boy Sports Wizard and welcome back to another video on my channel. So today we're gonna bring the top 10 regular season MVPs of all time. And this is a really good video, I've wanted to make for a long time. Took a lot of time on it, so I really appreciate it if you guys liked and subscribed. And yeah, let's jump right into it. So rules. I always say we have to start with rules. And yeah, so I will only be considering the regular season. That's the first rule. I mean, you guys should practically know this, but if you guys, just started to be the whole season, I don't know why, but if you guys got confused, I'm just saying, it's just gonna be a regular season, so no playoffs, no playoffs. So that's the first rule. And the second rule is players are allowed more than one, so it's not like we're a format where you can only be in there once. No, players are allowed more than one, so it just depends on how good your MVP season are. Are they top 10 worthy? Yes. Are they top 10 worthy? It just depends on that. So it doesn't depend on the person, Person can be in there more than once. 10 MVPs could be there for the same person, but obviously no one has 10 MVPs. But I'm just saying a player can be allowed more than once. So criteria, there is two simple criteria, stats and record. So that's basically it. It's kind of like stats and accolades, like MVPs and all that. But I don't mean like that because this is already the regular season MVPs of all time. But record. So record is very important thing, like stats and winning, in my opinion. Those are the two main things I'm gonna be considering. And then let's jump right into it. So number 10, we have Larry Bird, 1984 to 1985. Yeah, so 1984 to 1985, Larry Bird at number 10. So he put up around 29, 11, and 7. His record was 63 and 19, which was first in the East at that time. So, Bird, in this MVP season, he put up a lot of well-rounded numbers. He had a very great record as well, so he is good enough to make this list. But again, nothing that pops out. Like his is very well run, but it's not like like a 30 points. I mean, it's close, but it's very well run, and he had a good record. But the only thing is that they're better, they're better MVP seasons than this, so he has to settle for number 10. At number 9, we have Oscar Robertson, 1963 to 1964. This one is a toss-up, but I'd give it to Oscar Robertson. He put up around 31 points per game, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists per game. His record was 55 and 25, second in the West. So, if you look at it, they both have well-rounded stats. Oscar Robertson had a very near triple-double. Larry Bird did have the better record, but, it could go anyway, but I just feel like Oscar Robertson had the better individual season, near triple-double. And his record still wasn't bad, it was still a 55 and 25 record, which is still good, but not as good as Larry Bird's. But I just feel like Oscar Robertson, he had the better individual season in terms of stats, and I'd say, the difference in stats is more significant than the difference in the record. So that's why I give it to Oscar Robertson at number 9. Now at number 8, we have Russell Westbrook, 2016 to 2017. Yeah, this is the most recent triple-double season ever. He put up 32, 11, and 10. His record was 47 and 35, which is 6th in the West. So you guys might have been shocked that Russell Westbrook was even in this list. And also, you guys might have been shocked at about the fact that he was this high, number 8. But, I just feel like comparing him to Oscar Robertson, he had better stats than Oscar Robertson, even though they, both had, even though Oscar Robertson had a near triple-double, whereas Russell Westbrook actually had one. But still, I'd still say, he had better stats. Record-wise, obviously, Oscar Robertson was better, but, I just feel like Russell Westbrook's, individual prowess, how should I say it? I give Russell Westbrook's individual prowess more importance than his record. That's the simplest way to say it. So even though his record is not great, I'd still go by his. That's the thing. I'm not only considering stats. Like I said, I'm gonna be considering the record as well. But that's why it's not. That's why he's not high, right? If it was just stats wise, he'd be top 5, top 3. I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. I would consider record, but even with the fact that his record is not great, his stats, carry him this high. But again, record is needed, so he can only fall at number 8. So at number 8, Russell Westbrook, 2016 to 2017. Now number 7 was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 1970 to 1971. He put up 32, 16, and 3. His record was 66 and 16, which was first in the West at that time. So Kareem this season, I believe it was his second year. I think. Yeah, I think it was his second year. Right? No, I'm confused. I think it was his second year, or maybe it was his first year, maybe it was his third year, but it was one of his, earliest years, and I believe that this season was insane. He put up, like I said, 32, 16, and 3. Good record, that's what I'm saying. So, comparing him to Russell Westbrook, stats-wise, they are both great, that's what I'm going to say. But record-wise, Kareem has a significantly better record, so I would give it to Kareem. And the only thing with Kareem is that, the only reason why he doesn't fall higher than 7 is because, it's just the simple case that, they're just, better MVP seasons. Now, number 6 was Wilt Chamberlain, 1965 to 1966. He put up 34, 25, and 5. His record was 44 and 37, which was first in the West at that time. So, yeah. Wilt, comparing him with Kareem, they both had good statistics, but Wilt just splashes Kareem out of the water stats-wise. And record-wise, Kareem did have a better record. But Wilt, he still managed to get first in the West at that time period. Even though numbers-wise, his record wasn't as good, so it still gives a slight edge to Wilt Chamberlain. So now moving to number 5 was MJ, 1995 to 1996. So Michael Jordan, in this season, he put up 37 and 4. His record was 72 and 10, which was first in the East. And at that time, that was the greatest record ever. So, yeah, so comparing him to Wilt did have the better stats, but MJ's record, at that time it was just historic, and, that's the thing. At that time it was historic, so 72 and 10 record. I think MJ deserves to be in the top 5. Again, not his best statistical season, but record-wise, he was great, so yeah, I do give record pretty big weightage. They're just like 50-50 stats on record, so his record managed to carry him all the way here. So yeah, MJ, 1995 to 1996 at number 5. Number 4, we have Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, 1971 to 72. This season, comparing him to this one, he was much better. He put up 35. I mean, both of those seasons were great, but this time he was better. He put up 35, 17, and 5. His record wasn't as good. It was 63 and 19, which was actually second in the West. It was not first. But again, MJ's, his record carried him all the way to the top 5, but his stats, they just can't, that's the thing. They just can't carry him into the top 4. So, the record carried him all the way there. But his record carried him all the way there. But MJ's stats were just lackluster compared to Kareem's, even though Kareem did have the worst record. But again, it's not a big difference. But yeah, so MJ's record could only carry him so far. You need to have stats and record to, be the greatest regular season MVP of all time. So Kareem falls at number 4. He had great stats, by the way. Number 3 was Wilt Chamberlain, 1966 to 1967. His stats were 24, 24, and 8. Right. 24, 24, and 8. His record was 68 and 13, which is first in the East. Comparing him to Kareem, more rebounds per game and more assists per game, better record. It's as simple as that. And Wilt, he was just dominant. He was a better distributor. He was a rebounder. He was a defensive anchor. And in the regular season, his record was fantastic. He became more of a winning player, you know what I mean? Than, just a, stats player, kind of. But, yeah, more than just a stats player, he became, a winner, almost. His record was great, He also put up pretty solid stats, even though his points per game wasn't fantastic. But still, 24, 24, and 8 was still fantastic. As a, a whole stat, but 24 points per game is not great, but still, considering his points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game, the stat line is pretty good. And record, it's better than Kareem, so I'm going to go Wilt at number 3. Now, number 2, we have Stephen Curry, 2015 to 2016. Yeah. You knew Steph was going to be a number. Not any number, but you know stats was gonna be high. You know what I mean? His stats were 35-7. His record was 73-9, which was first in the West at that time and first ever. That's the greatest record ever. You know, it was great. He had good stats. He had a good record. Comparing him to Wilt, again, stats wise, he wasn't as good, but record, you know, he had the greatest record of all time, and you know, he had a good combination of stats and record. That's why he came this far. But at number one, we have MJ 1987 to 1988. Now, looking at it this season, I think it's the greatest regular season MVP, of all time. He put up 35, 6, and 6. His record was 50 and 32, which was third in the East. So not the greatest record, but stats-wise, you know, he just blows Steph out of the water. And record-wise, Steph did have a better record, but I just feel like MJ at 1997 to 1988 had the perfect combination of stats and record. Again, his stats were mind-boggling, and his record was good. You know, he was still he still had a 50-win team, so it was still pretty good. Not great, but still good enough to get him the number one spot. His record, I'm thinking, not great. His stats were great. So yeah, these are the top 10 regular season MVPs of all time. It's a quick recap to show you guys. And yeah, that's the video, guys. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. Guys, I really appreciate it if you guys like, subscribe, and turn on those notifications. It'll really mean the world to me because it took a long time for me to make this list. I will also be coming with Finals MVP video, also the same thing, top 10 Finals MVPs of all time soon. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.